Happy game day there, Pucker Nation. This is Chris here from the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devil podcast, and we are jumping on for our little quick power play episode, little keys to tonight's game for hopefully what ends up being a dub for the Devils over the New York Islanders. Last season, we played 3 against the Islanders. We won 1, we lost 2. Islanders always give us fits. This season, we played them game 4. It was a 5-4 overtime win by the Devils. That was that wicked wrister in overtime that Jack shot over Sorokin for the winner. Then our seasons kind of went in opposite directions. The Islanders are playing pretty well. They're a couple games over 500, 22 points, fourth in the Metropolitan Division. As we all know, the Devils not so good. Lately, they have gone down to 9-9-1. They are now 500 team, 19 points, seventh in the Metropolitan Division. Like all Devil fans, I think we kind of expect that to change over the course of the next few weeks and months, and the Devils to start rising in the Metropolitan rankings. But here's the thing about the Eastern Conference this year. There really is no gimme team. There is no team that you just look at the schedule and say, all right, well, here's 3 games against Columbus or against Detroit or against Ottawa or Buffalo that we're going to get these 3, 4, 6 points out of. Philadelphia, teams like that. Every team, it seems, in the Eastern Conference is doing well. You know, we go on Saturday night, whoop up on the Buffalo Sabers 7-2, and then Buffalo goes and whoops up on the first place New York Rangers last night. Columbus beats us, 2-1 on Friday. They're not a good team. We played like dog shit. And what happens? Columbus goes out yesterday and beats the first place Boston Bruins. So in this conference, every night is going to be a fight. So it's going to get actually, I think, a lot closer, and it's going to end up being a lot bigger of a log jam as the season progresses. But that's down the road. Let's talk about tonight at home against the Islanders. 7:00 face-off drop at the Rock. The game is on ESPN Plus, also on MSG. Went over the record so far. So the Islanders are 29th in the NHL in goals for. They have scored 52, where the Devils are 9th in the NHL with 67. Goals against, the Islanders are 15th in the NHL, right smack dab in the middle there with 62 goals against, and we are 21st in the NHL, the Devils are, with 70 goals against. So, like we've said since game 2 or 3, right? Team defense, you got to start locking it down. Well, they did that on Saturday. Huge game. The captain comes back. Nico Heischer's back in the lineup against Buffalo. Devils go on a 7-2 rout, allowing only 11 shots on goal for the Sabers the entire game. They looked like the Devils that we were expecting to see from day one. But look, man, the injuries, the bullshit, like we all know it, right? Was it too much put on this team's plate that they felt like, okay, we have to go out. We're projected to win the East. We're projected to win the Metro, maybe even to win the Cup. Maybe they didn't deal with that heavy load as much as good as maybe a veteran team does. Maybe that has something to do with it. The injuries definitely have something to do with it. But we're getting healthier, but not as healthy as we like. So tonight is the second meeting, like I said, between these two teams this season. This is a 4-point swing. It's a Metropolitan game. We have 2 this week against the Flyers on Thursday, tonight against the Islanders. This really go a long way in confidence if the Devils can play the way they did Saturday night, coming up against these next 2 opponents. So, look, it was the best performance of the season on Saturday. You look at what this team did on Friday against Columbus, right? Third period, 20 shots on goal. They had nothing to show for it. So one of 2 things could have happened, right? They could have gone into that Buffalo game deflated. It doesn't matter what we do. We can't even buy a fucking goal. That kind of attitude, or the attitude of we're just going to keep on doing what we were doing late in that Columbus game and see if we can translate that into a good game on Saturday. That's exactly what they did. Ended up huge game, great game. Everybody played well. And you know what? When you're allowing 11 shots on goal, nobody can sit here and say, hey, our goaltending's the problem. Hey, we just keep doing that. I know. We're not going to have 11 shots on goal every game. My point is, though, the way that the team played, it was extremely it was good to see that they remembered how to do that, right? Like we were watching these other games, and yeah, rock bottom seemed to come every next game. It was wow, they can't get any worse, and then they did, and they kept doing that, and it was super frustrating, and that's why this game is so important for the Devils because Saturday doesn't matter if you go back to playing the way you did Wednesday, Thursday, and those 6, 7 games prior to that. If you revert back to that and you start playing that way against the Islanders, you're going to lose 5-2, and you're going to be right back in the position you were before Saturday happened. This game is huge for that. You have got to keep it going, right? They've got to go out, play this. It's a huge game. You got to win, and you got to win in regulation. There's some good, some bad, and some ugly in this whole thing. The good is that Curtis Lazar should play. So that's good. We missed him last game. I think most Devil fans are super happy with his production, the way he's played this year, been a leader both on and off the ice. He is just an emotion dude. He's the kind of guy that plays in that bottom six that teams really need late in the season, that lean on in the playoffs. And these are the guys that end up scoring some timely goals for a team when it really counts. Curtis Lazar's that guy. I don't know many Devil fans that aren't a big fan of this dude. So he'll be back. Of course, Nico, it will be back. It's still in the lineup. The bad, Eric Holla's out and still no Timo. We don't know when Holla's coming back. Once again, the Devils organization gives us nothing. He's still apparently being evaluated. I don't know what that means. He's not skating. Timo is skating solo. He has yet to take a practice with the team. So that looks like he's still a week or so maybe away. I don't know. So those two dudes are out. And the ugly, man, clean up the penalty kill. They've got to start killing penalties. You allowed 2 power plays to Buffalo, and they scored on both of them. Now, I granted, you played a great game, but there's still things that need to be cleaned up. That's one of them. So the Devils need to play the way that they played on Saturday night, play with that fire. Crowd should be into it. It's a metropolitan game against a cross-city rival. This is big. Go out and beat the Islanders. They have a better record than you. That doesn't mean they're better than you. The Islanders are they play us tough, though. They play tight. They play defensive. You wouldn't know that from the first game of the season where there were 9 goals scored, but still – I don't expect 9 goals scored in this game. They have good, solid goaltending. Both of their goaltenders, whether it's Sorokin or Varlamov, they're both really good, really competent. I expect Vitek Vanacek in net, and just keep it going. I mean, this is a huge test. You feel good after Saturday. You're rolling into this game. Just what else is there to say, right? Just keep the good vibes going. Keep doing what you're doing. Attacking. They were very rarely caught out of position on Saturday night. I mean, that's what we saw 90% of the year last year. But now when you see the guys that are in this lineup, and once this team gets healthy, just got to keep treading water until this team is 100% healthy, because I do think when they are, there's a couple of runs to be made here. So this is going to be an exciting season. I know it has not started off the way Devil fans would have liked. That's all right. A little adversity is a good thing, especially if they can get out of it. And so far, it looks like I think this week will be really the measuring point of which way is this team going. Are they ascending? Are they descending? We're going to really know after these next 3 games if they can rally off 3 wins in a row against the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Sharks, and on a 4-game win streak after that. Then I think you could really start feeling good. And you'll see 2 to 3 weeks of really good play by this team, and they're going to get right up there in the standings and be right in the mix for a playoff. But, guys, it can go the other way. We have seen how poorly this team is capable of playing this year. Can't do it. All right, that's got to be way in the past. You got to not even think about that bullshit, just Can't happen anymore. So tonight, 7 p.m. against the Islanders. Not sure if the Puckers are going to be on before or after the game, but either way, there will be a new Uncle Pucker podcast dropping later on this evening. And that's about it, guys. If you want, you can always hit us up at unclepuckers@gmail.com. We love to get some feedback from our listeners and just tell us what you think, either, about our show, about the Devils, where you think it's going this season, feelings about anybody or anything on that team. And we definitely love to get feedback. We like to read it on our shows and get our fans involved. So, again, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. Positive comment goes a really long way to promote the podcast. And this little power play episode of the Uncle Puckers is brought to you by Used to Be's Island Eatery at 287 Route 35 in Manalocan. Used to Be's fantastic place for all your food, drink, watch all your games. Wonderful place, open year round on the island. Fantastic pizza, fantastic burgers, fantastic entrees, great selection of draft beers. Check out usedtobesnj.com for a calendar of all their events, live entertainment, bar trivia, bar bingo, and all their lunch and dinner specials throughout the week. That's usedtobesnj.com. We thank them. We thank you guys. Let's go Devils.